in your eyes and I see love so dangerously. You're not trusting your heart to anyone. You tell me you're gonna play it smart. We're through before we start, but I believe that we've only just begun. When it's this good, there's no saying no. I want you so I'm ready to go. Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall. For a chance to be with you, I'd gladly risk it all. Through the fire, through whatever come what may. For a chance at loving you, I take it all away. Right down through the wire, even through the fire. I know you're afraid of what you feel. You still need time to heal, and I can help if you'll only let me try. You touched me and something in me new. What I could have with you. Now I'm not ready to kiss that dream goodbye. When it's this sweet, there's no saying no. I need you so I'm ready to go. Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall. For a chance to be with you, I'd gladly risk it all. Through the fire, through whatever come what may. For a chance at loving you, I take it all away. Right down through the wall, even through the fire.
Can I exhale? My life is artwork, you might not understand this. The way that I spit it like putting strokes on the canvas. Taking notes of all the urban cries. Put it down, materialize, then watch as the paint dries. Better bet the ink, cause every time I think it's time to keep the flow while these other cats sing. No Titanic, too over dramatic. I feel like new edition in the brain now. Tell me, can you stand it? With each word I'm building me a steeple. And if you open my works up, there you'll find my cathedral. You got your wood stains, a little glass paint, but it all tell a story, man. Think that it can't. Where I come from, it's deer hunters and street guns. So I spray these words like the Uzi weighs a ton. It's that heavy. I'm pouring this out from my heart. You see it's art. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a show. And everything that spit is just like a brush stroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life's artwork. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that it spit is like a brush stroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life's artwork. Description, better yet my mission is to visualize and give the world vision. Work to heal the streets with a little audio heat. It's moving all out over laid back beats. A to the R to the T, Wisco flow. Like you're in a gallery and see a Picasso. But this ain't Picasso, baby. Even though it's like Jay, cause it's gonna drive the world crazy. This is for those admiring and looking. I heat it up for Instagram and flip the rest cooking. It's so acrylic. Every time that I spit it, my foliage show that I all get it. Speaking of, this art get wows and awes. Like a masterpiece that's up in the halls. Everything is so realistic, but better yet, man, yo, it's so artistic, cause and you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything is spit is just like a brush stroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that is spit is like a brush stroke. Paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch. Yo, this life is hard work. My glaze hand, bring the pick on home. I'm just an artiste in the Midwest zone. Now it's a lot of cats that paint, but they ain't making art, man.
Social issues cannot be contained within narrow confines. Hence, it sprawls into diverse territories. Beyond the headlines, your trusted RBN.
That is what we getting on. Real headlines is what we spitting on. So, hey now, let's have a conversation. Maybe take a sec, talk on what we facing. Only way to change is to change the situation. How about we break bread now and have a conversation? Hey now, yo, let's have a conversation. Maybe take a sec, talk about what we facing. Only way to change is to change the situation. So how about we break bread now and have a conversation?
Acknowledge me. All right, we are back. We are back. We are back. And this is the Real Bravado Network. And welcome to our live stream, Have the Conversation, where over here we address Black people issues, especially those issues that keep Black folk from being together. Guys, it's 2024, day one of 2024. I had not intended on streaming until next week, but I wanted to kind of get some stuff off my chest real quick. If you guys didn't notice the name of the stream, will a new king arrive? This is going to be an interesting talk today. I'm not one for being long-winded. Those of you who come over here and watch regularly, you're not gonna get no 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hour stream. I get in, drop what I need to drop, and I get out and I get out. So this is gonna be interesting kind of a stream. I got a lot of stuff I want to get through. I'm gonna try to get through it, and I'm gonna try to pack it in pretty good for you guys. But one of the things I'm gonna do right off top is I want to address an issue to the fellas directly. So if you give me a second, I'm gonna actually do that. But welcome everyone. Let's acknowledge the chat real quick. Let's see who's all here. Oh my goodness. All right, we want to yeah, those of you, VB in Israel is in the building. Thank you. Those of you who are watching, please hit that like button for our brother. We really appreciate the like button. What's up? The Black Lamb is in the building. How you doing, sis? I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you will rock out real good today with today's topic. I think a lot of you are really going to enjoy the conversation today, the topic today. It's not going to be a lot of foolery, so we got some business to take care of right at the beginning of the first of the year. My sexy is strong, sister girl. You know what it is. You know what it is. And someone I've never seen, Millennium Glory. Thank you. Like number 10. Yeah, get them likes up. Thank you, sis, for coming through. I appreciate it. This is your first time seeing me live. I think it's the first time I've seen you in the chat, so I appreciate you being here with me today. All right, hold on. Let me get this up off of the screen. Okay, let's get going, guys. Every time I want to click something, it don't quite go that way, but all right. All right, right off the top, guys, I want to address something real quick, but before I get to it, let me ask all the guys in the chat real quick. Let me ask all the guys that are watching and be watching later, and those who are participating in the chat and those who are just watching on. We got quite a few of you in the building. Go ahead and hit those likes for me. Brandon is in the building. Thanks, buddy, for dropping by. You can help me out with this one a little bit. But let me get going real quick. Let me ask the brothers a question real quick. Are we winning, losing, or weak? That's the question of the stream today. Our black men, are we winning, losing, or weak? Before I launch, let me make one thing perfectly clear, because it might not seem like this during times of the stream tonight, that I am 100% an advocate for black men and for our growth, for our development, for our outcomes. I'm 100% an advocate for that. And I have, over the last month, I've been on various different other platforms, and simply because I ask certain questions, it has sent a lot of the brothers into a whole doggone tailspin, and to the point where guys have actually unsubscribed from me simply because I asked a question. Because I asked a whole question, these fellas have lost their everlasting mind because of a question. So let me ask it again, are we, black men, are we winning, losing, or weak? And I know asking that question may seem like I'm for the drag on the brothers. I'm not for the drag on the brothers. I'm over here to ask a question. I'm over here to push. I'm over here to apply pressure. I'm over here to have a conversation that is not being had in normal spaces. I'm over here to do things. I'm not over here to have shouting matches and pull up calls to for people to pull up, and I'm not over here doing this. One of the things that people are, people are starting to interact with me now behind the scenes, which I really appreciate that, and I love that, because this is all about networking. People are starting to really not really understand that what I say and what I mean on these streams, I actually believe it in my real life. I actually say it in my real life, and I actually do everything I can to live it in my real life. And so a lot of times when I hear a lot of these conversations with the brothers right now, man, I go up and I ask the question. I always ask the question, how practical is that? And because I've had the nerve to ask people how practical it is for what you're saying, then all of a sudden TJ becomes King Simp, because I want to know, how do you apply what you're saying to real life? What does that mean for the brothers that are listening and for the people who are seeking answers and people who are seeking understanding, when you're just out here saying shit and you're not actually talking about how does that work and what does that mean for brothers in real life? But I gotta be the goddamn simp, because I asked the damn question, what does that mean and what does that look like? How do you apply that? What are we really saying to guys when we say certain things? How do they take that and apply that and to get them where they need to get or what they need to get? Are we winning, losing, or weak? That's the question right now for this first half of the stream. Here's the hurtful truth, black men. Regardless of what we think about ourselves, regardless of how we view ourselves or what we call ourselves, what we think about ourselves, if you want to know what black men are or what any man is, if you want to know where he stands, just look at what his women chooses. The women, I know people are not going to like this, and a lot of guys are not going to like this, but to a degree, one of the components, now listen very carefully, because even men in this space have a hard time listening this shit. One of the components for validating who you are, one of the components to validating what you think you are, is if a woman selects or agrees to come into cooperation with you. That's one of the components. It's a big component. It's not the only component, and as a man, you shouldn't be overly concerned about it, but it needs to be on your radar. Let me tell you what black women have decided about black men, good, bad, or indifferent. And I'm not going to sit up here, and I got a guy that I've been on streams with who wants to argue the percentages for me, but I'm not going to do that, because my data comes from blackdemographics.com. People want to throw out data and numbers and not tell them where it comes from. Mine comes from blackdemographics.com, also the Census Bureau, also the CDC. Also, I read various journals and subjects and research from various universities on the subject. Are we winning, losing, or weak? 75% of black women, and this is a rough number, 75% of our women have decided not to come into cooperation with any of us. Because 75% of our women are single mothers. You got, what's the brother name? Mr. Fantastic, who visits This Might Be Risky podcast all the time. This brother talks about, it's only 44%. Now, here's what he's not telling you. That 44% number he got from the Pew Research Institution. It's a study from the Pew Research. But what that 44% of number he comes from, that number 44%, he's saying 44% of black women are not single mothers. What he's not telling you is that they are actually, that 44%, what makes it looks like that we got such a large number of single women without children, what he's not factoring in is they factor in the cohabitation women, the women who are cohabitating with their man, with a man. And they're not counting those women as single women, are single mothers because there's a man in the house, but it's not accounting for if that, and it doesn't account the fact that those cohabitations are not married. So when you put in the cohabitation number with the women living in a house by themselves, you get about 75% of our women have decided not to come under cooperation, and they're single mothers. So what does that say if women choose, if a woman's cooperation or submission is an indicator of what they think about men in general? So what does that say? How does that paint how our women view us? Let's keep it a buck here. The overwhelming majority of our women have decided that the overwhelming majority of Black men are not worth pairing with. So what the hell does that mean for the overall respect and imagery of the Black leadership, of the Black man? What does that say about where his leadership ranks? What does that say about Black manhood? What does that say about his ability to be respected off rip? How does that a man who understands that, how does that impact his willingness to invest in the outcome of the people that share his reflection? Kunli, I don't give a damn about the MGTOWs. I'm over here truly saying that I want what's best for brothers who share my reflection. In order to do that, you got to ask yourself the stuff that we're talking about, the talking points. We got to sit here and ask the question, how does those talking points, how does that apply in real life? How does that apply? Are single and childless, and of that number, 60% of Black men are considered to be middle class. We've allowed our women to define manhood or Black manhood exclusively by a dollar number. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. We allow our women to define our manhood and what a real man is. Our women tells us if we are a man or not. They tell us if we are a man or not. Our manhood is set by our women. They rule everything over us, and then you got us on these platforms pretending like that's not happening. "75% of our women have chosen not to marry any of us." That is a whole problem. Yes, it is easy to blame, to set all of that blame on our women. It's easy to do that. And trust and believe, I have outlined the behaviors and the attitudes and the programming, of our women and how fucking out of control it is. The biggest question, the biggest thing that set people off on me last week or the week before last, 2 weeks ago, that set a lot of men off on me was the whole issue surrounding the baby daddy, being a stepdaddy. because I had the nerve to say something or ask men didn't like. And they lost their everlasting minds over a damn question. And then tried to take my question and put words in my mouth and imply that I had a stance that I do not have. It got so bad to the point where other content creators took that clip and did whole live streams on it. And yes, because I'm not a coward, I went over there. And went over there to because they wanted the stream was named after me. And went over there and sat there for an hour and a half waiting for somebody to challenge, discredit, or undermine anything I had to say. And guess what happened? Not a damn thing. You want to know what our women think of us? Especially those who fall in the 54% category, single, childless, earn enough money to be considered middle class, which is basic stuff. You know what our women think of us? They think so highly of us that they think the only thing we deserve is to be the cleanup man. I mean, look at it. Our women are having children by men that they would not dare marry. Most of those guys are some of the scourges of the earth. We call them pookies. And then when they realize that those situations are not going to work out, they come over to the 54% and present themselves as if they are doing us a favor, and will call you a weak man or not a man if you do not sign up to take care of some other dude's responsibilities. That is what our women think of Black men. Black women in general believe we are only good to take care of some lesser, destructive, irresponsible, dirty, bum dude's kid. That's what our women think of us. That's all we're worth. You want to know how somebody feel about you? You want to know what somebody think about you? Look at how they treat you. But with that being said, that basically 75% of our women are single mothers, but we got almost 55% of the men, Black men, are single with no kids. Most 80% of Black men have been proven that they want a Black woman. That's almost all of us. I can't do nothing about the small, insignificant numbers. I can't do nothing about the small population. But 80%, that's damn near every Black man wants a Black woman. And if 55% of Black men are single and childless, who the fuck do you think they're going to be dealing with? If they want, people get angry at me when I tell them, when I point out the reality, and I'm going to say it slow for you short bus motherfuckers, if a Black man in this country, the United States of America, if a Black man wants a Black woman, there's a 75% chance he's going to get a single mother. The numbers say so. This isn't me saying so. The numbers say so. The data, the one thing that black men keep bitching about is the fact that black women don't want to believe the data. Well, guess what, black men? Here's the data that you need to believe. If you want a black woman in this country, there's a set, because 75% of our women that are single, guess who the fuck you're getting? A single mother. That's what the data shows. That's not me sitting here advocating for you to do that. I'm just telling you what the numbers say. The thing that you say that you want more than anything. You sit up here saying that you don't, that you want a black woman. Well, guess what? She comes with a damn kid. I'm not telling you or advocating for you to do so. I'm not sitting here saying, yeah, go baby mama, because that's where it's at. I'm not telling you to do that. It is a fucking bad deal to be a stepfather. I will tell you that over and over and over and over again. And just in a second here, I'm going to point out in a video clip that my homeboy, Life Lessons for Men, I'm going to point out in the video that he did, explaining, showing in real time why that's a bad deal. So why are so many of you so-called men who are into the data talking about that you operated logic? Why were you pissed at me for pointing out that one practical piece when you get up here and say, don't you ever date a baby mama because it ain't gonna work, because it's a bad deal? You saying don't date a baby mama, but yet I want a black woman. Explain to me how in the hell that's supposed to work, given what I just laid out for you.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the...
All right. Shout out to Mr. Paul the Baptist. Hey, brother, what's up? I see you in other chats. Keep it cooking for 2024. I'm trying to do my thing. And, of course, the man of the hour, my God, Mr. DJ Hemp from This Might Be Risky. He about to watch the game. Yeah, I wish I was watching the game too, brother. And also, one of my day ones, Mr. Coonley, I appreciate you. No comment, no question, just pure support. And, of course, my sister girl, Messy Michonne, is in the building. Happy New Year, y'all, 2024. I can't wait till she get back to doing what she do best. Yeah, so I appreciate the super chat, y'all. I really, really, really do. Messy Michonne, she said, let's see, am I mad? No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at all. Brandon says, yes, our women fully expect another black man to take full responsibility that belongs to another man. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, what a wild, wild world we live in. But the quote-unquote manosphere lost their everlasting fucking mind at me last week. I think it was last week or the week before last. Lost their damn mind at me because I just pointed out a fact. I pointed out a fact, and they lost their damn mind. No, I wouldn't say a fact. I pointed out the flaw in the narrative. I pointed out a flaw in the narrative, and I asked the question, How do you, and the number one answer I got out of that, you know what the number one answer I did get was, you got to tell these brothers to go get a passport. Okay. Well, goddamn. That's exactly what every black, the 55% of black men are going to go do. The 54% of black men. Well, that's exactly what they're going to do. We're going to have tens of millions of brothers applying for their damn passport and going to Taiwan or Lithuania or some goddamn where to find a woman. That's exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do. What's up, my good brother? The international. I'm using the term manosphere as in generic terms, Quiet Storm. I'm not. To me, the manosphere that's a whole nother stream that I believe I believe just Pearly Things destroyed it, but that's a whole nother thing. I'm using it as a generic term to define these brothers on these other channels that went off on me because I actually asked a fucking question. I asked a question. I asked a goddamn question. I asked him. And I'll drop the channels. This might be risky, and Team Fatty and Beans and all these. I mean, a plethora of men went berserk. Team Fatty did a whole goddamn live stream trying to call me out or some shit. And guess what the fuck I did? Because I'm not for the run from nothing. Because I'm like, here are these cats over here. I can't stand it when somebody misrepresents what I said. And they misrepresented what I said. And then when I went over there and I confronted them, you know what Fatty said on his channel? To me, he was like, well, now that you put it like that, well, that makes a lot of sense. What the hell you mean now that I put it like that? It's how I put it the first goddamn time. I will never, ever tell a man what to do with his life or how to do his life. But I will ask the questions. We are out here saying crap and we're not talking. Let me tell you guys something. For those of you that are in the chat, there are way more people who just watch than there is that participate in the chat. So when we're having these conversations, we're not just talking to each other. We're talking to the people that are watching. Do you not know how many people are influenced or get motivated or get their ideas or get their answers to their questions answered by simply watching? Do you not understand how often that happens? Do you not know the amount of people who actually started YouTube channels simply by watching somebody? The lead attorney. Many content creators say, if it wasn't for lead attorney and him saying, if you are over the age of 35, start a YouTube channel because you have life experience, you have something to offer. You know that people never was in this chat, but just watched him, heard him say that, and is out here doing their thing now and doing very well. So when we're having these conversations, and this is why so many people stop going to panels, because it's become a toxic waste dump of ignorance. If you want an example of what happens to a toxic waste dump of panels, look at what happened to the Lapeef Network. It was 2 years ago, the most prominent space on these so-called black side of YouTube. They used to get 3,000-4,000 people watching in the chat. Now they can barely get a couple hundred.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
Look, shout out to my homeboy right here, Jay Larone Presents. If you guys have not gone over there and listened to this brother, you need to go listen to this brother right here. This brother is doing really good work over there. He has very interesting perspectives and takes, and it's well done. The things that he's doing over there is absolutely well done. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. I gotta give it up real quick. Hold on.
Damn.
The Black Lamb, my fucking God. I appreciate you, TJ, and men like you. Most people ease on down the road of the least resistance, which is a sign of weakness in my eyes. So you stay you. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, fucking ma'am. Happy New Year. Thank you. Once again, oh my God. $50. Let me give it to you again. And guys, I believe when you are authentic, this is the kind of support you get. My goodness. And you guys go check out The Black Lamb on her channel. Go check out her channel. She's really good. I really like it. Her channel's new. But this kind of support is simply from
I'm a black woman.
a Black woman did this. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you, Black Lamb, for the super chat, for the $50 super chat. That is absolutely amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Oh, I got it in the background. TLA, what do you think of all the super chats?
They are amazing.
Yes, they are. And so is Black Lamb for that 50 ball. I appreciate the support, everyone. That's real support. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Real quick, before I'm going to get to an example of why of the stepdad stuff and how it's a bad deal. Hold on a second. Before I do that, if anyone want to come up and disagree with me, I just dropped the link in the chat. Come on up here and disagree with anything I say. Point out the flaw in what I'm saying. How am I the big simp for asking the question? For asking the question. Oh, yeah, Beans. Hey, what's up, Beans? Thank you, brother, for stopping by. Yes, don't mischaracterize me, please. I have been and seen Beans on things. This ain't got nothing to do if I agree with them, disagree with them, whatever. But I have seen these cats literally, I hear what the brother said, and then they, in response, say something completely different than what this man didn't say it. Please don't mischaracterize me. I'm stealing your shit, Beans, because that's what they did to me. All because I asked a very practical question. Jay Prince is wild as Jay Prince can be. There are times he has moments of absolute clarity. In one of those clarifying moments, Jay Prince asked the panel, y'all said to a panel, you guys are up here talking this ish, but then when these women show up in your real life, you don't say that. And let me tell you something. And to me, that's also a problem. It goes back to the fact that Black men are scared. We're scared of our own goddamn women. People are shocked to find out that the stuff I say here, I say it at home, I say it to my family, say it to my woman, I say it at work. I don't give a damn. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how nicely rocked up them hips and titties are. None of that matters to me. I mean, it matters, you know. A brother loves, a nicely rocked up woman. You know, it really, whew, man, I love being around women. Some of these cats don't seem like they like to be around. I love being around women. My God, I'd rather be around a woman love to be around one right now. Love being, especially a good-looking woman. Good-looking woman, she smell good, and she can talk. She got good sense. She's smart. I'm not talking about this, oh, I got 40 different MBA degrees and all that bullshit. I'm just talking about just have plain old wisdom. Love women like that. Love women who are creative. Love being around that shit. My God beans, I would rather be around a woman that I can look at, smell good with, talk shit with, engage in conversations than sit around with my homeboys. I swear to God, I would. Does that make me a simp? I don't know. But the one thing that I don't do is I'm not afraid to tell my women what I need to tell them. I'm not afraid to hurt their feelings. I'm not afraid for a woman not to talk to me. I'm not afraid for her not to fuck me. I'm not, why do I need to be afraid? And to go back, I know it kind of went off a little bit, to go back to what happened to me on these platforms around that one particular issue, a guy who called himself a passport bro got up there and wanted to pick a fight with me because he thought I was saying something negative about passport bros. The International Quiet Storm is an international traveler. I have no qualms with men who want to travel. I have no qualms with a man who says, I want to go and find my wife in another country because the shit with our women is too fucking hard. I have no qualms with nothing like that. But let's not pretend that most black men are going to be doing that shit. We're not. We're going to be stuck right here in the United States or in your city, in Cleveland, in Jackson, in Atlanta, in Charlotte, in San Diego, or we're going to be stuck in Milwaukee, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Houston, Dallas. I can't name them all. We're going to be stuck here with the women we have here. So it's advantageous to, I think that's the right word. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. To us to figure this shit out with the women that's around us. And the one thing that we need to do is when we start talking about what men should do, we need to start asking, well, how does that look in real life? That is my goal moving forward for 2024, especially out in these streets, because these people are promoting dangerous narratives that are going to keep men single. Ain't nothing more dangerous to a society than men who can't get their nut off. Somebody tell me I'm lying. So let me be clear. Let me be absolutely direct. I do not support the notion that we need to encourage a man to do or accept something that is contrary to his personal growth and development. And if that means he does not accept a woman with children, that's what that means. I don't care. I actually do not care if you accept a woman with children or not. But let me tell you something. A lot of men, black men, are in really bad situations with these baby mamas because these men are not willing to say up front what they need. I will tell anyone, I would tell any woman up front, if I decide to deal with a woman with a child, I'm going to tell you up front, your child has one father, and it's not me. Whatever you need or want for your child, you need to ensure that resource comes from his father. I am not responsible for his responsibilities. That I'm not here for your child. I am here for you. And if you can't handle that, then we don't need to go no further. And a lot of women, when they hear me say that, they think that means that I'm going to do something harmful to their child, which is nothing but female gaslighting. My only obligation to any woman or any woman's child is not to harm them, and to be kind to them. That is it. The basic human decency. I owe your child nothing. Just like you owe mine nothing. And nor do I have an expectation that you owe mine anything. But a lot of men are afraid to tell these women. They are afraid because the woman gonna leave. Let her ass leave. That doesn't mean because that doesn't mean you're gonna mistreat her child, but she says that to you as a way to gaslight you and to try to bully you into doing something that you don't want to do. She's trying to bully you into a sucker move. But guess what? Most of our men are suckers because most of black men out here were all born from, that's right, Mashawn, we're born from female hoes. Our mamas were hoes. Newsflash. I said it once before. I'm going to say it again. If you and all your siblings got different fathers, your mama's a hoe. And it's about time y'all come to terms with that. You live life a little easier when you come to terms with the fact that your mama was the fucking side chick. That doesn't mean that makes something wrong with you. You can't help the fact that your mama was a fucking side chick. That's her cross to bear, not yours. Your mama is a hoe. Sorry to break the news to you, brother. You got 3 other siblings, and all y'all got a different daddy. What you make? You mean to tell me that means your mama is virtuous? I had a friend lady of mine. She was like, I got 3 different baby daddies. Does that make me a hoe? I said, it don't make you virtuous. It don't make you virtuous. So let's take a quick look. I'm sorry about this rant. Let's take a quick look at what happens to a lot of stepdaddies. Here, Kofa says, most men are going to, because they're a bunch of pussies. That's why. They punks. Fucking cowards. Got the nerd talking about here, respect me. But you can't tell your woman where the fucking go jump off at. Fuck her.
Share a story about my Christmas.
This is hilarious. This is from my good brother right here. His name is Life Lessons for Men. Man, when I saw this shit right here, I about fell over. Listen to this woman's story.
I'm going to share a story about my Christmas this year, this morning, how it went. I am in a relationship. We live together. We've lived together for the last 4 years. We decided to give my son his older son's old gaming computer because his older son's getting a new one. And my son wanted one for Christmas. And I really didn't want him to have it. I had reservations about him getting a computer. I think he's a little too old, too young. He's only 9.
So your child is 9 years old and you think that he should not have his own computer. You have reservations about it. You don't think he's ready for his own computer. Sounds like he convinced you to give the child, your son, his own computer because that's what he really wanted. So let's keep going because we're going to get into this story about why this whole computer deal is such a big deal. Why she's so upset about her son being neglected.
But he convinced me to let him have it. He thought that it would be a good financial decision and also a way for him to have what he wants with us, not having to invest too much money.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, he convinced you to give the child, your son, the old computer because he was buying one for his child and he didn't want your son to go without a computer because that's what he really wanted.
He goes to his son's house Christmas Eve yesterday. He sets up the new computer, and it is a nice computer. It's even nicer than the one that he wanted, top of the line. Okay. He gets the old computer. He brings it back. We have a dinner to go to. So we go to dinner. At dinner, we're discussing, I bring up like, okay, so what's the plan? Because we had discussed it prior about a week ago. And the plan was we were going to put it together, make sure his stuff was ready the night before while he was sleeping so he could wake up and play with his stuff. However, when I bring it up now, he's saying that, we could just do it in the morning and blah, 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 blah. He doesn't feel like doing it now. His family's in town. He wants to have some drinks with them, whatever. Okay.
So he said his family was in town and he just said, you know what? I'm just going to do this in the morning. He did not say he wasn't going to do it at all. He did not say he was going to neglect your child. He did not say any of that sort. He just simply said he would do it in the morning because his family's in town. He want to spend time with his family. He want to have drinks with them. He probably has a very short window to spend time with his friends and family, and he wants to seize this opportunity. Your child will still be there. The computer will still be there. If he does it the morning of, fine, cool, no big deal, at least in his eyes. But let's keep going because you are not going to agree with this. Yes, y'all talked about this a week before, but you know what? Situation has changed. Plans have changed.
That was just not sitting well with me at all. That was not the plan. This is my son. I wanted him to wake up and enjoy his stuff just like his son gets to wake up and enjoy his stuff. Actually, his son has been enjoying his stuff since yesterday, the day before Christmas. Okay.
So you are comparing how he treats his son versus how he treats your son.
This is a major problem when you're dealing with a lot of these single mothers because they expect you to be father number 2, but you need to be a better father than the one that she let raw dog her and fertilize her ass. You got to be better than that dude. And she's making a whole deal because she notices she's focusing her story around what he's done for his actual son. I don't know what the hell is wrong with y'all. And somebody please explain in the chat if you can. Why do our women believe that the next dude has to be more of a father to your child than the actual father? How is that how's that your new man's responsibility? How is that his? I'm not being rhetorical here. I want to know, how is that your new guy's responsibility to be a better father to your child than the actual father? And you hold so much smoke for the non-father and zero smoke for the father. Explain that to me. How does that make any sense? How and why is that a thing? I don't understand. I don't get how you can get all indignant, ignorant, bold, in the face, start shaming, screaming, threatening to leave and all this other shit because the new dude, you want the new dude to be a better father than the actual father. How is that a thing? How is that an actual thing? Somebody got to please explain that to me. Maybe that's what where we're missing stuff here. Because our women have this, we are a package deal. No, the fuck you're not. You're not a number 4 on the McDonald's menu. No, you're not. You're not a combo meal. Fuck your kid.
That's what this whole argument is about, is the fact that you think that his son is being treated in some special way and your child is being neglected. Y'all have probably had these kind of arguments for so many years.
How in the world do we sit up here and be like, how do we sit up here and accuse the non-father of neglect because he might not want to do something for your kid, or he's not going to put your kid above his kid? So now your kid is somehow being neglected. If your child is being neglected, you're doing it. His father is doing it.
Y'all have had these arguments about how he treats your child. You think that just because he puts something together the morning of versus the night before, that he is neglecting your child, that he's trying to forget about your child, that he doesn't want your child to be without a computer? Like, what kind of sense does that make? If he just said, my family's in town, I want to have drinks with them, he probably didn't see this opportunity come up ahead of time. It's probably just something that has spurred the moment. Probably just got a text, probably got a phone call and say, hey, I'm in town, I'll probably be gone tomorrow, let's hang out, let's catch up for drinks. And he's like, you know what, I have an opportunity. The sun will still be there. The computer still be there. Cool. I'm going to go hang out with my boys. In the morning, we're going to wake up. We're going to have Christmas. We're going to have, everybody's going to be happy. He's going to open his other presents. Maybe there's not other presents, but you know what? I'm going to set this up in the morning. He will be just as happy. But you got a problem with that because his son was getting his new computer the day before Christmas and your son got to wait the morning of Christmas. Oh my God, the world is going to end because your child is not having something put together the night before Christmas versus the morning of. Is this what you want to argue about?
Yes, that's exactly what she wants to argue about. And she's willing to blow up her fucking relationship over something that don't mean nothing. And let me tell you something. If this was me today, you know what I'll be telling her?
Fuck them kids.
Straight up. What's up, Kof?
What's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know if you got me up. Can
I got
everyone?
you.
Oh, okay.
Everyone can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, what's going on, bro? I know this
Man.
conversation me and you had slightly on the other day. About the whole dating single moms, what are the solutions, what are the options? I think we know each other's stance. Kind of, we on a different side of the fence, but I think we got the gate open. I agree with you 100% in the factual numbers, but in theory, the whole thing that I think is missing in the red pill, manosphere, men-centric space does a horrible job of just say, hey, get the passport. They don't tell you the how, the why, the practicality of it, because it's not a fix. I say it all the time on my channel. You take you wherever you go. So I think it's just the biggest part of it, bro. It's an option now because Black men have never been told we had that option. We've never been told that we actually have this option to realistically date out. If even take away the passports, just dating here in the country. We've never been told that we have these different options. We're told to stick with Black women and just deal with single motherhood. And we also leave out the brothers like myself who have already done that, who have already gone through that straight up hell, trying to fix it, trying to work it out, doing everything that everybody has, whether it's whatever podcast, whatever that we're supposed to do. This, as we go down the checklist of trying to fix this shit and be these good Black men. And then when we get to the point and we say, fuck it, now everybody seems to be surprised.
And that's my problem. And I said it at the beginning, Cope. I don't think you were here yet. That's my problem is we allow our women to determine what makes us a good man or not. Our women set the tone for our manhood. We allow this shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, and it's not a pushback, but another injection. Like that's my whole thing of being in this YouTube space. Like you mentioned about lead attorney, being on speaking about, you know, if you're over 35, you got life experience. I do it on YouTube. I do it in my real life. Context matters. We keep leaving out how much of this stuff has permeated Black men's mind. It has nothing to do with the women, really. From a romantic standpoint, we've been told this shit since we were children.
Yes, sir.
Since we were little boys. And what the women don't realize on the back end, what shout out, I'm out here in the cold. Miss, God damn it, girl.
She coming in with the nonsense. We try.
I know.
You
know, I'm gonna throw a damn monkey wrench of this shit, had this shit thrown off.
She ain't shit. Rashawn ain't shit right now.
At all. But the part that the women don't realize in dealing with our mothers, our grandmothers, auntie, this is how we learned how to finesse y'all. That's how so many men have learned how to finesse women. Because I had to keep my grandmama happy so I didn't get my ass whooped. I had to keep my mama happy so I could go outside and play with my friends. I had to keep my teacher happy, which was more than likely a woman, so she didn't call my mama. We've learned all this stuff since we were little boys. At the same time, we're being told that we ain't shit. So when you're talking about brothers, just
my grandmother, 81 years old, man. I told you just the other. I think every conversation I have with my grandmother now is a conversation about how Black men ain't shit, and she's talking to a Black man that pays her fucking bills.
It's commonplace. So think about that.
But Black men ain't shit.
Think about it. Your grandmother's 81. That's 2-3 generations of Black women just in that age. So she's raised your mother. Your mother has had girls your age. Those girls have now had, we're in our 40s. So those women have had women in their 20s. So it's been a constant, like this shit has been an echo chamber of Black men ain't shit since roughly the 60s.
And then they pick ain't shit men and then get reinforced by their decision that they made. Even though they've been told, look, let me tell you something about my grandma. I love my grandma to death, but when the man she got her kids by, my grandfather, y'all just bear with me for a second because let me talk about this. So my grandmother has 7 children. She has 6 with my grandfather. So my grandfather unfortunately passed in a car accident 2 years ago. But my grandfather about 20 years ago moved out of Wisconsin and back to Mississippi. My family originated out of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So for almost 20 years, no one would go see him. No one would go see him. No one would go talk to him. So about 8 years ago, Kofa, I was just kind of like, I don't know what came over me, but I was at home and I was watching TV and I wasn't even thinking about my grandfather. And then out of the blue, something says to me, you got to go check on your grandfather. He's getting older. Whatever the fuck happened, and all I know is what my grandmama told me. Yeah. And I said, whatever the fuck happened between your grandmama and your grandfather, that ain't got nothing to do with you. My grandfather, while I believe the stories, because I was kind of around kind of not. I got to see some shit, but not really. My grandfather was not necessarily the best husband, you know, but he never done anything to me. So I'm sitting there going, why am I not talking to my grandfather? Because he didn't do anything to me. And so I started going to see him twice a year in Mississippi. I started going because where I'm situated at right now, I was 6 hours from him, 5 hours from my grandmother. So I'm in the middle. Yeah. So I can either go north or south in the same amount of time. So I would go home 2-3 times a month, see my grandmother and my daughter. I would then just a couple times a year go down and check on my grandfather. You know, the last couple years of his life, he started saying stuff, little stuff, nothing overt. He would just say stuff like, I don't know why Henrietta won't talk to me. I wish Henrietta would stop lying. Just little stuff. He would never fucking go into details. Yeah. He would just say, I wish Henrietta would stop lying. Or he would say, Henrietta ain't telling it all. Henrietta know better. That's all he would say. Yeah. And so when he passed, you know what I found out from my grandmother? Because I was like, you need to come to this man's funeral. I know there was a disaster of a husband. A lot of stuff went down according to you. Yeah. You need to come to the funeral. She didn't want to come to the funeral. I said, well, come for me. So I brought her to my home. I got her to my home, and then we drove down to, while the night before we left for the funeral, she's in my house, and she tells me, because some issues came up. A lot of shit come out when folk die. Some woman came out of nowhere. A woman and a dude came out of nowhere claiming to be my grandfather's kids. Of course, I flat out dismissed that shit. Fuck you talking about? Yeah, I know his kids. My mama's the oldest. So I'm talking to my grandma, and she says, "Yeah, your granddaddy had a whole family before me." I said, "What?" I said, "Got how the whole family?" Yeah, he had a wife. Yeah, the granddaddy had a wife and had 2 kids. And I go, I was stunned. Yeah. Because then I go, now my adult mind, my full-grown man mind is locked in at this age now. And I said to her, so you were meddling with a married man? And she goes, well, you know me and our dirty bastards. Grandma, you were messing with a married man. How, dirty bastards, you didn't have to do. And then I said to her, wait a minute, didn't you tell me year after year after year that your father tried to stop you from dealing with him and you ran off to Wisconsin with him? So it's not like she didn't have somebody telling her, you don't do this crap. Yeah. She did it on her own. And so I said to her, I said, Grandma, well, damn, everything that happened between you and Granddaddy, you bought that shit because you had no business with him in the first place. Yeah. It changed. It changed. Now, does it take away the fact that my grandfather abandoned her with all these kids and all this, that? No. Does it change some of the fuckery that he did? No. But it puts things in perspective.
Context matters.
I no longer saw my grandfather as this mobster. No. Okay, now here it goes. Notice I said she has 7 kids. 6 of them belong to my grandfather. Yeah. So she has my mother, Uncle June, Auntie Bobby, Uncle Dion. She has them with my grandfather, right? Yeah. After the 5th child, they divorce.
Yeah.
She gets with another guy who I love to death. She gets with another guy who I love to death, you know? She has a daughter with him, right? My grandfather remarries another woman. My grandmother has such a disdain for the other woman because that other woman was her friend.
Mm.
So my grandmother understood my grandfather's nature. Well, understood. My grandmother never not said that my grandfather did not view her as the woman of her life. He just was a bastard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my
Probably
grandmother. So my grandmother, when she found out she married that he married her friend, my grandmother went back, fucked my grandfather again while she was with this dude, and had my Uncle Leonard, kid number 7. Leonard is not supposed to be here.
Mm.
Context matters.
It matters.
So if my grandfather was this monster, you move on, you get the other man to come in, you have a kid with him, he takes on the responsibilities of all the other ones. How do you, if he's so horrible, how do you run back to my grandfather and give him one more out the door?
Think about how long that goes on, bro. 7 kids, that's like 7 years worth of pregnancy. That's 7 years. And yes, I know pregnancy, for those in the chat, Kofi can do a little bit of math. I know pregnancy lasts nine months and all that jazz. But think about that. Think about how many years that is.
But my grandfather is the monster.
And go ahead.
He's such a monster that after the divorce, after another kid, you go back and give him another kid. But me and ain't shit. But he was married when you met him.
Yeah.
But me and ain't shit.
I think that's where the conversation from the red pill guys or whoever comes in. Because the opposite end of the spectrum is we're either monsters or we weak as hell. So when brothers are saying that don't date single moms, it's black men's attempt to draw a hard line in the sand. Them brothers know numerically, damn near impossible. Damn near impossible. That's why I say I agree with you on that part, but I'm kind of on the other side of the fence because at what point is the conversation going to change?
Yep. Hold that thought right there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hold that thought right there. We gotta pay some bills.
Cool.
All right, shout out to the Black Lamb. I didn't forget about the sister with the fire bone. I'm tired of all these women coming out here crying about situations they put themselves in. This is a very, very, I know she sent this a little while back, but this is a very, very appropriate comment. I'm like, I'm supposed to care? Be an adult, please. My Lord. Now, Kofa, I don't know if okay, I want to be clear. Mm-hmm. I'm not advocating for black men to go become stepdaddies. That's not my stance.
Yeah.
I was just asking a fucking question, you know, like how does that work?
And that's why I was saying, because again, you know, me and you had this conversation offline. But that's where I do take umbrage with red pill manosphere context. Context matters, guys. Listen, you're hearing from one of your own. I'm passport bro adjacent, not quite there yet. Haven't got enough stamps yet. I say it all the time. I'm passport bro adjacent. I totally understand the push to not date single moms because of why. And we got to start humanizing ourselves, man. A lot of these brothers don't want to do it because, again, we leave the part out where guys like myself have already done it and had our fucking heart broke. like heart ripped out on some Kano from Mortal Kombat shit.
Oh shit! Look, I brought it up because I thought he says, Quiet Storm says, do nothing with Seagram's mom, but wish her luck. I thought it said and her stretch marks, but that's that's what I thought it said. Oh,
Look, you making up shit now.
There I go. There I go. Basically making shit up that he did say. And you know what I was complaining about earlier? I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, and her stretch marks. No, but no.
It's so many men that have again, bro. So again, thank you for that story because you don't got to share that. So hell, I'll share one about my grandma. I got an uncle that isn't my grandfather's. Like the whole story.
Hold on. You said you got an uncle that isn't your grandfather.
Yep, isn't my grandfather's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like the whole off the war shit, Korean War. He come back, he got a new baby, or one on the way, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who convinces him to stay? His brother's wife, because that just ain't what they did back then, was divorce and all that shit.
Yeah.
So hit him with the sign language, and shout out to Aunt Snoop. She's all of them have since passed on, but she convinces my granddad to stay because his brothers, my great uncles, were also in the military and stuff like that. So she hit him with you don't know how lonely we get. We don't know if y'all coming back. That whole spiel. You know what I'm saying? So my granddad stays, which I'm glad he did, but most in the red pill were like, oh, he'll simp. You did this, that, and the third. I'm glad my grandfather stayed because my mother's the baby of the family.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't be here.
My black ass wouldn't be up here on this screen right now. So again, we've seen this for so long. So I think is a lot of black men's last ditch effort to try to adjust. I think it's low key an attempt at a solution, but it's not a good one, fellas. I'm sorry, I agree with TJ on this one. If 70-80% something percent of these children are being born out of wedlock in their single mother households, and that's not even to include, kids that got good fathers. There's a good co-parenting system and all that. But when it boils down to it, it just is. The horse, I say it all the time, the horse has got out the barn and has ran down the dirt road. The only way to fix that, and this is where the passport comes in, the only way to fix that is to go buy another horse. So I think brothers don't do a good job of pushing the passport thing other than, Beautiful Lies, Brother Andre from Love Crossing Borders, brothers like that. A lot of people are just espousing this, get the passport. But I would like to add some context. A passport is $150. You can do that. You spend that shit on some dinner and you still don't fuck. Shorty still don't get you no pussy. So get the passport, but you got to put in some work to learn the language. You're going to have to go to different places. But a lot of brothers don't want to do that. So again, to TJ's point, guys, a lot of y'all ain't going no fucking where because you don't want to do the work. So you're going to be here until you want to do the work. Now, the possibility is there. The probability is low, to your point, TJ.
Yeah.
And that's part of the conversation that's lacking. But I am interested to see the numbers in the next 3 to 5 years, how many brothers do start putting in that work. I think it's just a tip of the iceberg conversation right now. People don't realize it because it's blown up so fast. We get everything so fast through the internet. We got to remember black women have free reign to tell us we want shit through every media platform for the last several decades. Black men really only been talking this talk to the point of having attention on it within the last 3-4 years. Manosphere, that space has been here, but where people are actually paying attention, where it's a part of the conversation, has only been the last 3 or 4 years. We only at the tip of the iceberg. Whatever change you expecting to see, I'm expecting to see, that shit ain't gonna happen in our age group, bro.
Yep.
And it ain't gonna happen in our lifetime.
And this is what I'm gonna be starting to do. If no matter who platform I go on, or even on mine, I'm gonna be asking the question from now on is, how does that work? Whatever you're saying, how does that work from a practical standpoint? Because I'm tired of just talking. and yelling and back and forth. And you know, I just don't understand how we get anywhere. And then here's the thing: when you going back and looking at these streams back, all you see is a bunch of guys fighting it out, not talking about anything, not helping anything. And then try to imagine if you're a woman watching this shit. And they keep hollering about, you know, the guys want these women to get in line. Get in line with what, to a degree? I don't mind having these discussions and these conversations and stuff like that, Kofa. I don't mind doing that. I was telling somebody the other day, was it you, that the work isn't done, the real work ain't done on social media and YouTube. You got to get some folk together.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say right here, right now, that I'm gonna do. Well, I can't make any promises because, you know, I'm just a working man, you know. Yeah. But I want to get some folk together in person, 5-6 people together, and have these conversations together, get in each other's spaces, have the conversation together, you know, have a real, you know, nuts and bolts plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to work on that for late summer. You know what I mean? To try to do that. That's gonna cost some bread, boy.
But I'm just set the goal, bro. Set the goal and go for it.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Because you know, me at this point, my bad, I cut y'all, but me personally, I'm just only talking about me personally. I'm kind of opting out. I'll have the conversation. No, it's actually a black-owned brand, Kun Lee. It's hold it up. A conscious. I don't know how well y'all can see that. I just found it tonight. I was watching that Alabama game and we blew it. So I'm pissed the fuck off, sitting in the cold, smoking, sad, looking like I'm about to go commit a robbery. Like right. That's why I'm wearing all this damn black for a goddamn funeral, goddamn Alabama. Anyway, but for me, for myself, I know I've checked out and I know the reasons why. There's other brothers that have also checked out. We'll have the conversation. It's interesting. I want to see where it goes. Like, what is the solution? I don't know the solution because there's so many black men that have actually tried. Mm-hmm. We don't get enough credit for the brothers that have already done. That's what pisses me off about these conversations. We always leave that group of brothers out that have done the same things that the quote unquote a lot of married men, you know, have done, but they didn't get the marriage results.
Yeah. Let me shout out Project Leeward for becoming a channel member.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you, Project Leeward, for becoming. I thought you were a member. I don't know. But I appreciate that. But yeah, I just had to, you know, start off my stream before I got to the to what I wanted to talk about today, to deal with that shit, because it went left for me about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? So I wanted to come up and make a full throated shit. Michelle said, don't talk about me like that up here. I want to make a full throated, you know, statement on where I stand.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, I'm not going to convince a brother, try to convince a dude of nothing that I think is not in a brother's best interest. It is not in a guy's best interest to be involved with a single mother. However, if you're going to attempt it, you gotta make that situation as, you gotta minimize your risk. And in order to do that, you got to have a conversation with this woman that you're not comfortable having and that you're probably not used to having, and you got to stand on it.
Yeah.
You know, one of my closest friend, he ended up marrying a woman, and she's an outlier. She's turned out to be an outlier. Mm-hmm. She had one kid. She was living in Section 8 housing, all this shit, when he met this girl. When he told me, you know, when he met her, you know, when you gotta meet a girl, you ain't thinking nothing about it. Okay, this is somebody he just, you know, fucking off time with, or whatever the case may be. You know, brother got an MBA, you know, got a real good professional job. I mean, good job. You know, just doing this thing. And then they come telling me he for to marry this girl. I was like, what? Like, and so you got, even with your Your day one brothers that you know since y'all were kids, when a man lock in on a woman, I don't care how close she is with this brother, you gotta tread lightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, you sure you want to do that? You know, because this gal has some. She has some. It was questionable.
Yeah.
And there was. I'm not going to divulge none of his stuff, but the first few years of that man, my God, I was like, oh my brother just, he stepped in it, you know.
Yeah.
But my brother's a strong dude, you know. He about that life. He put in the work. He worked her. It was like she was like old rusty iron. You would not believe who that woman was when they married her and who she is now.
Yeah. Salute to him.
And got 2 kids out the deal. She's an excellent woman. That's my sister. I will, ride for this, rock with her, whatever, she can call, get, whatever, I treat her, I look at her, they a unit to me now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They a unit, and by the way, fuck him right now. Because he took $50 out of my goddamn pocket this week, motherfucker. And it's my fault. Real side talk. My fault. So, Aaron Rodgers left the Packers, right?
Yeah.
So we got Jordan Love. So at the beginning of the season, I told my dude, I was like, listen, the Packers ain't going to win 8 games. I didn't realize it was an 18-week season. I thought it was like 17 weeks. So I said, the Packers ain't going to win fucking 8 games. And he was like, man, bet 50 on it. Man, I talk so much shit. The Packers started out horrible. And I'm a huge Packer fan, but I had no faith in this Jordan Love cat, none whatsoever. Or the Packers, nothing. They do fuck shit all the time. Yeah. So, I told my dude, I said, look, when the Packers, I forgot what week they're in, but they only have 4 wins. I told my dude, I said, listen, I don't want no Cash App. I don't want no Venmo, none of that. I want a $50 bill. I'm gonna write your name on that bitch in permanent marker. I'm gonna put it in a frame, and every time I come to your house, I'm gonna set that $50 frame on your damn table. You can look at it. Oh man, I talk shit. And then yesterday, the Packers won their 8th game. Fuck Kansas City because they choked it. They choked against the fucking Packers. If it wasn't for fucking Kansas City, they will be only a 17 win, and next week they will be losing next week. The Packers having that brother money. Said when I go to Wisconsin, I gotta take this joker 50 fucking.
And you gotta give it to him the way that you asked for it. You gotta put a $50 in.
Nah. He said, I'm a man of God. Cash App will be just fine.
Oh shit.
Man, fuck him.
I'm glad I didn't bet on this Alabama game.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, I just wanted to hop up. Just because we talked, bro. We had that conversation. Like I said, I think we're on opposite sides of the fence somewhat, but the gate is open.
Yeah.
But the context matters. Like the red pill got
I don't know if we're on the opposite sides of the fence. But no, so you're basically saying opt out and bounce. I'm saying if you're gonna stay, then you gotta figure out a way to make that work for you and not be afraid to do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
so what I'm saying is I'm not saying just leave.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is take an objective look, make the best decision for yourself. That's all I'm about, especially on my channel. I want you to do what's going to make you happy. What the fuck is actually going to work for you as a man? And if it doesn't work out, do you still have enough bread? Do you still have enough self-worth to stand on when she does bounce?
Right.
Because I've seen it before. I told a story about my uncle and some other older men I know. These guys have raised these children. These men are in their 60s now. You think they call them?
No.
The step kids. After they divorce the mom or the mom wants to divorce and move on, now they getting divorced in they late 40s, mid 50s. Mama still thinks she got some gas in the tank. You think those adult children call that man and say thank you? So I've seen what it does when it breaks down people. The NFL is racist. Yes, the Walmart is racist. So a lot of men, like all of us, have seen that shit. Whereas an older man that believed in that old stuff of accepting a single mom, it just is what it is. And brothers say that shit all the time. Well, man, women got kids. I don't know what you gonna do. You must not want no pussy. You must not like women. This nigga low key. He must be gay. We've heard all that shit. So I think that red pill stance of not dating single moms is an attempt to draw a hard line in the sand and see what happens. But brothers in our age group in our 40s, this shit ain't gonna work. The women we're dealing with in this age group have already been told they can do what the fuck they want to do. Then they've proven it.
They've proven it. They
up to this age group.
Yep, and they do. But see, here's the thing. But they got the women in our age group got some of the most fucked up outcomes, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see them all up on Kendra G. And they want to do, and they're sitting there talking like they some 25-year-old fresh tender with.
It doesn't matter, bro. I say it all the time. This is a Kofaism. As long as a black woman can produce a child, she can do no wrong. She doesn't even have to be a good mother. Just the fact that she went through 9 months of pregnancy and gave birth, mama doing the best she can.
Fuck that.
Can't nobody pull a card. Think about that shit, though. How many of these older women try to check these younger women and catch smoke? Them chicks not. So if you won't listen to an older woman, you won't listen to your friends. You won't listen to your father, like your grandmother said her daddy tried to check her.
She ran off. She left the goddamn state.
They do with the full free. Fuck what they want to do.
And that's why you
so how can any man, and that's why you have a lot of men that are scared to say anything to a woman. Like if I say anything, she's gonna leave and
let that motherfucker go.
Oh yeah,
let that motherfucker go.
We 100 on. Let her go.
Let that motherfucker go.
But brothers are going to have to, and I'm sorry, ladies, but brothers are going to have to start massaging their options. That's why you hear so much about the passport talk. Because right now it's just
why is somebody in here clowning?
Look, yeah, Kofi saying all this with a toothpick. I got the cigar though, man. I got the cigar, Quiet Storm. But I'm big on walking away. I had to learn that shit, bro. I had to learn that. And a lot of us learn through trial by fire. Some of us end up. One thing I will say, if any young men catch this, don't get her pregnant. Don't make that baby. That's where a lot of us fuck up. By the grace of God, I had my one bio. I got my one bio, baby.
Yeah.
I done got snipped. Shout it, I'm done. That's why I like context. When Kofi's talking this shit, I could talk this shit. I survived the fire. And I've since got snipped. So I don't even got to worry about no oops, baby. If I do have a lapse in judgment and don't throw on a condom or something like that.
Right.
So I've gone through that steps. I ask the brothers all the time, can you say what the fuck I can say? Can you say that? Most of them can't. So you're going to deal with a baby mama.
Right.
Or you got to start dating Becky, Marisol, Maylene, like Kevin Samuels used to say.
Yeah.
Putting forth the actual work to either go have your fun, DR, Colombia, Thailand, wherever the fuck. No, ma'am. We are not doing that shit. I love that. I know Miss Michonne be talking shit. That save your community, black man. How we gonna save the community when we can't save ourselves as men?
Theo tripping, talking about team childless. Nigga, you got an arm baby.
That nigga ain't trying to count that shit. That boy grown now.
That's still an arm baby. That nigga
Theo ain't trying to hear that shit.
And Theo still paying child support, buying Fruit Loops and everything. Theo still buying Gerber baby food and shit. I don't want to hear that.
No, look, Michonne talking about, oh no, not a snip. Oh, Shawty, I'm done.
Yeah.
And look, TMI, my shit work better now. Mentally, I ain't never got to worry about no slip up.
You're right.
That boy cold with that shit now. But I've dodged bullets, bro. I said that on my channel the other night. I'm Neo / John Wick. I'm on some Keanu Reeves. All I'm doing is dodging bullets.
I want you to read this super chat.
Mm-hmm. Millennial Galore with the $5 spot. Appreciate you, good sister. She says, whether men go for their passport or stay here, just be cognizant. Women overseas prey on men like women here. Just be safe and make wise decisions. Got it? Hotter than fish grease. I don't got my soundboard, but that's 100% fact. Yeah, and again, there's good information out here as far as passports and your options and stuff like that. There's great information, but we are so dead set on there's no shot at nobody. But these panels and everything and everybody arguing, we've done nothing but taking the stuff that older generations used to do on the front porch and then brought it to the internet.
On that right there, I want to pull up something. I want to illustrate because I need to roll into my next set of topics. I want to get up out of here. Okay. Go watch them raw. And I'm not talking about Eddie Murphy either. Speaking of panels, and this leads into my next topic, which is Black men need leadership too. And I'm gonna play this for a while. Kofi, you got some time?
Yeah, I got a second, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna play this for a while. Okay, and I want to Deshaun, who's Cash Out? I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna let this roll for a while because I want to prove a point. Black men need leadership too, and here's an example why. Shout out to DJ Hemp, and this might be risky.
So go ahead, let's get it popping.
Parties. First off, I didn't appreciate you said something. You was like, Tommy bring the belts, and you act like a nigga just have these fucking belts.
Talking to me? Daddy said that.
You act like a nigga just walk around with these.
You shits. Walk around with that shit.
You act like a nigga just walk around with the belt. I don't get that. Why you believe this? I don't know. Just so happy to be here. Second off, I did listen, and I think contradiction is probably one of the words that you might want to use about yourself, brother, because you said people don't have to call people's names when they disagree with them. And you were calling me a name, and I don't even know who you are, and I don't know you exist. And the great thing about it is I don't know you exist, and you know who I am. So that against what you're talking about. You knew who I was, sir. You did. You even said, I think
saw you on the video. You just some nigga on the video.
Okay, so you're gonna sit here and deny that you knew who I was. That's what you're gonna do?
You were one of 500 people.
All I said was you know who I am. Was that a question?
Yeah, you're right. I do. Are you one of the 500 people that's gonna have
and what you're doing at that point is acting like women do when they see something that don't go their way. They'll start arguing.
You asked me if I knew who you were. I said yes. You're one of the 500 people that appeared on Hamp Show. Go ahead.
No, look, it doesn't matter if I'm one of the 500 people. You know who I am.
I don't give a fuck. Cool.
And then you said it don't matter.
You're one of the 500 people that appeared on Hamp Show. Continue.
You still know who I am.
All right, cool. You're one of the
500 people on earth. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your views are, but
Kof. What the fuck are they talking about?
Just going back and forth, ping ponging.
About what?
Nothing.
No, I know what this original live stream is about because I was on it for about 2 minutes. You know what I mean? And then I got the fuck off. I'll get off. When I see nonsense coming down my way, I love Hamp is this might be risky. DJ Hamp, you guys saw him on the Epic Joint live stream. Hamp is that dude. But this here is an example of I'm gonna let it play a little bit more. I'm just gonna let it play because I want to illustrate when I get to my shit about Black men need leadership too. I'm gonna use this as an example.
I surely wouldn't put you down before I knew you.
Okay.
That I wouldn't do. I would try to see what you thought first. Now, you said that you wanted to have an intellectual conversation, and yet I brought you one, and yet it's still bothering you. I haven't said one thing wrong.
I'm not bothered.
You called me out my name, and I didn't call you out your name.
I didn't call you out your name. I described you.
Well, then by that logic, I describe a bitch as a bitch. It's a descriptive word.
I don't think it is a descriptive word that describes any human being.
I don't think. I want y'all to understand, as a man, we don't say I don't think.
Hey, you don't tell me what man.
In fact,
you don't get
it is a
descriptor.
Wait a minute, sir. The term bitch is a descriptor.
It's a female dog. So you using that word to describe any female.
That is the descriptor. If I call a woman a queen that does not own land and does not rule a kingdom, I still call called her that. If I called her a 10, she's not a numeral.
So you're using inaccurate descriptions. Okay, continue.
If you would like to sit up here, if you would like to argue semantics instead of agree with them, then I'll let you do it with someone else. Because here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to sit and argue like a woman with you when you claimed you wanted to have a logical and intellectual conversation.
I'm having a lot.
If you choose, you can go right back to them, and I'll let you do it.
You mischaracterized one of my statements. You said I called you out of your name. I said I didn't. I simply said I described you. That's all I said.
And then what did I say? I said, and bitch is a descriptor as well.
And
did I argue with you would describe me?
It's not an argument, it's a discussion.
Wait a minute. Did I argue with you when you said you described me?
No. That don't have nothing to do with me. What you chose to do and what I chose to do.
I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again.
And I answered your question. No.
Hold on. I have respect for the show and the people of the show. I'm trying to have you, but I'm not going to have a childish one with you.
I don't give a fuck with you.
You called me out my name. I pointed it.
I described you.
And you said, no, I didn't. I described you. And I said, cool. So I also, when I call a woman a bitch or a hoe, it is a descriptor. That is.
Can I address that part?
Just like you don't believe you don't believe it's an accurate descriptor. I don't believe what you called me was an accurate one.
All right. Continue. All right. You're right.
It is sad, ladies and gentlemen, and I want y'all to see this. That the person who's supposed to be taken up for black women.
Well, I'm not taking up for anyone. See, now you already got it wrong. So let me stop you there. I didn't come on here taking up for anyone. I have said nothing about black women since I've been on here. I've only talked about the niggas who be on the internet talking about women. I'm talking about you. I ain't said nothing about black women since I stepped foot on here.
I watched the comment section and I watched the women say you were taking up for them. So that's why I said it, sir. They believe you're taking up for them.
Oh.
That's all. Just like if you believe that Chaotic Truth was speaking for lame niggas. Something to you, sir. I get paid to be online. I am never online. I wouldn't talk to none of you niggas if I wasn't getting money in my pocket. So you doing it for free, sir.
I guarantee my boy Hamp from the lanes like you.
Let's play. You told me I don't have more money than you. My house is 8,100 square feet. How big is yours?
Big enough.
Is it 8,100?
I have no idea what direction they're going in. I need more context.
Yeah, I know. It's not even about that. Hold on. Hold on a second. Hey, VBN, just give me a second.
Yeah, I got you.
Let me get this off real quick, everybody. I played that for a reason, not because I want you guys to understand what they're talking about. I want you just to see from a visual perspective. I want you to see, and I want you to hear that that entire conversation without context is chaos. Even with the context, that conversation, that not Hamp specifically, but the men when they get together on these panels, for me, it screams one important thing. And hold on and hold that point right there, because I have to admit, and one of the things that I've gotten good at the moment that I came clean, that I accepted the fact that mom was a hoe. It frees you up for a lot of shit. It's like being constipated, and then you're no longer constipated. You feel good, you know?
Feel a little bit lighter.
Yeah. I have to admit that I have not always been the kind of man that I am now. I have to admit that I've had to I've backed down when I shouldn't have. I've accepted behaviors that I shouldn't have. I accepted conditions that no man should have to accept from his woman or anybody else in his day-to-day life, including his wife. I have been in a position where I just gave in because I was unwilling to let a woman or a job or a friendship walk out the door. How can Black men expect anybody, namely our women, to respect that in us. And I understand that I can't expect her to feel like I'm able to fight, stand up, direct, or even back her down when I'm the stronger, faster, supposed to be more logical of the two. I can't expect her to have faith in that when I don't have a backbone or a spine. I no longer have an expectation for her to respect me when I'm not willing to lose her. Here's some hurtful truth. Too many black men, too many of us are just now coming to a realization, this stage of life, that we were fucked over in the development, in the manhood perspective. And too many of us are still in denial that we are lacking what we need. It doesn't mean we have to stay this way. Black men should know that we are responsible for our own outcome. We are responsible how the world looks at us. We are, even to a degree, responsible how our women treat us. I know how we got here. I know we got here because if you're born, I'm going to just say, and I'm being general, so please don't come in trying to fucking pin me down when I'm just being general. If you're born between 1970 and about 1990 right now, that 20-year gap, you were raised by a single mother. You were indoctrinated to be a simp from the moment you were pushed out. You were indoctrinated to be weak. You were indoctrinated. As a man, you don't even know what authority looks like because the authority in your life was female. That's why so many men can easily back down from a woman, because a woman's wrath or her bark represents authority to us. Because we all had to live, grow, and develop under her authority. We don't know male authority. We fight male authority just like our women fight male authority. We're programmed to think male authority is toxic, vicious, violent, immoral. So I know why why our men are afraid to tell his woman to go fuck yourself when you need to. And not necessarily like that. I'm being colorful right now. Men won't tell a baby mama, fuck your kids. And I don't mean that literally like you could throw the damn kid in front of a damn bus, the kid is innocent. But I know why men can't tell a single mother, if whatever you want for your child, you get it from the man that you had a kid with. We call ourselves men. Even if we don't know what that entirely means, it's still our job to take the necessary steps to figure it out. Even if that means paying for coaching, mentorship, therapy, whatever the fuck ever. Also, understanding not everyone can come along for the remake. I understand that. Remember when God destroyed the earth by water? Despite all the warnings, despite all the begging Noah did to get people to get into the ark, and their stubbornness, at some point, Noah just had to save himself and save his family. Black men, listen. Black women, listen. I'm going to say something that should not be that profound. Black men need leaders too. And we benefit from transformative, moral-centric, purpose-driven leadership. We all do. The men and the women. Just a little bit that kind of transcends time and borders, and that is the consequences that unfold when a strong and effective leader suddenly departs. Like moments like that can have a profound and far-reaching effect on a particular sector, on an industry, on a nation, on a group, on a culture, when that leader is left behind. So let me dive into this concept just a little bit. I'm going to get Kofa and be being in on a second. Let me dive into this just a little bit and examine the potential impact and the fractures that occur, the vacuum that's left open, and the consequences for credibility. And I'm going to use some historical examples to illustrate this. What you saw on that clip, what you saw on this clip, what you saw on this clip is the results of a falling leader. That's what you saw. Men who need leadership too. So let's look at some. I know people don't like education and they don't like history and don't like, fuck y'all. Let's look at Alexander the Great. For those of you who don't know, ChatGPT and Google are a motherfucker. Alexander the Great, one of history's most renowned military leaders. He died unexpectedly at the age of 32, and his empire stretched from Greece to India. And then following his demise, his generals and successors, they squabbled over his empire. And because of this fragmentation in his group, his once mighty empire fell into a bunch of smaller kingdoms that was, and there became a void or vacuum of power. And the power struggles led to instability in the region. It led to more wars, more conflict, and it also altered the course of history. Without this happening, without this vacuum of leadership, the United States of America might not even exist. So I guess there's a good thing about that. I don't know. Abraham Lincoln, 1865, his assassination. How did his assassination affect Black folk? The 40 acres and a mule promise was rescinded after his assassination. Reconstruction, the Reconstruction period failed after his assassination. The rise of the Ku Klux Klan happened because of Reconstruction. All of this happened to Black folk because Abraham Lincoln was killed. Now let's make it perfectly clear about Abraham Lincoln. This man was no friend of the slave. This man was a great military strategist. His goal was to preserve the Union. It wasn't about saving our Black asses from nothing. He says it in his own writing. He actually even says it in the Emancipation, like when he was threatened to release the Emancipation Proclamation. He threatened the South. I'll free your slaves if you don't rejoin the Union. And he said over and over again, I'll do anything to preserve the union. If that means I got to free the slaves to do it, I'll do it. If that means keep them in slavery, I'll keep them in slavery. Don't matter to me as long as I preserve the union. So let's not pretend like Abraham Lincoln's some goddamn friend to us. He's not, was not, don't give a fuck about us. But his assassination meant something for us. When a strong and effective leader falls, it can create a seismic shift in the sector. So when we're talking about Black conscious, or I wouldn't say consciousness, Black awareness, Black male awareness, Black men rising and realizing that they have value, who became as our leader? I don't think he set out to be that. I just think that's how it evolved. When a leader falls, it creates a leadership vacuum. It leads to uncertainty, instability, fractures emerge, groups, go out of control. The messaging gets messed up. And then what you get, is what happens on This Might Be Risky. We being Israel, Kofa, what you got to say about that?
All facts, bro. All facts. I like history. Everything. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, everything you said is fact. Especially when there's a leader like a Alexander, you mentioned. A young leader, we can look at Martin Luther King. Even if goodness persists, it splinters off in different directions. You're no longer flying under one flag. You're no longer standing firm on principles. I don't want to say business, but you're no longer standing on business. The things that made us men years ago have been told us that, like you said, make us tyrants. And we've been hearing that for so long. Mm-hmm. Again, only reason I'm using your grandmother for an example is because of her age. Regardless of what she didn't do, didn't say her age. You think she's the only one that's 81 that moved like that? Mm-hmm. My grandmother was 90 when she died. But yet my grandfather accepted right, wrong, and different. Again, my black ass wouldn't be here if he didn't. But at some point, we're going to have to stand on being the leaders that we're, quote unquote, supposed to be. And for those of us that have been in those leadership positions, to continue to exude that, even if you're not, I guess, in that sitting in the chair, you're not sitting in the throne.
Right. BBN, what you think?
I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I'm trying to clear my throat. Paul Mooney said it best, man. I'm blaming Oprah. It's Oprah's fault. And what I mean by that is Oprah made it popular where everybody could share their opinions. Made it so everybody's opinion mattered. Before Oprah, we really didn't have that. And I think right around that same time period, it's also become where we stopped following our leaders and we started trying to make our entertainers and our athletes our leaders. And we got a lot of great leaders, but a lot of people unfortunately just aren't aware because they're too busy worrying about likes.
But then how great are they if they're not aware?
Well, it's not about the leadership of the band. It's about the people. So what's happening is they're looking at, even here on YouTube, people jump behind people because they got 100,000 subscribers and they have no content. But that's the the criteria or the currency that we're measuring popularity, in other words, is become whether a person is credible or not. And somebody said recently, like, you look at some of the better channels, those are the smaller channels. You know, you look at some of the work that's being done, you know, again, the Dr. T.I. Son Johnson, the BGSs, those are smaller channels. But people, again, they focus on entertainment and celebrity, and we're ignoring our leaders. We got Dr. Claude Anderson has been running around quoting these statistics for 40 years to us. And you got people in this space to this day have never read one of his books, never watched one of his YouTube videos. But the man been saying the same thing that we all just started discovering after him. Hell, he was the reason I started looking at statistics. You know, I mean, but you got Bishop Nathaniel. In the last 20 years, he's responsible for more black men and women getting married than anybody else. Bishop Nathaniel. Most people like, who? Or they'll find a way to try to discourage him or whatever. But facts is facts. Facts are facts. But I just think we got to get away from that celebrity and get back to the elders. You know, we don't have, you know, we got to start building communities. But in order to build a community, you got to put the man and the woman back together. Yeah. So we can build neighborhoods and communities again. So that way we can start establishing elders.
Okay.
Interesting. I mean, it was thousands of prophets. It wasn't just 12 disciples. It was thousands, 10,000s, thousands of them.
Yeah. All right. You know? Interesting. Let me finish this up real quick, and we're gonna talk a little bit, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Hold on a second. So listen, I brought up that. You know what? Let me do this. How about we just hear from the man himself? Let's hear from the man himself and see if we can illustrate some points off of listening. Well, I'm gonna let him cook for about. Now, this is a video. It's not like he stops because he's got some technical stuff going on. But I want to listen to this man for a minute, okay? And then we're gonna talk about him. Are we strong? I mean, sorry. What did I say? Are we? Hold on a second. Are we winning, losing, or weak? Let's not lose sight of that. That was the opening question. Let's see what Kevin Samuels got to say. Hold on a minute.
I do need to make sure that everybody hits that like button. Hit that like button, or dislike. You know, some of y'all is in your feelings already. I don't know what you'd be disliking about a stream. You don't even know what I'm going to talk about yet. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But what I want you to do is let YouTube know you're over here. Because when it gets right down to it, a lot of stuff going on in the country, and we're going to handle it this way. Where are all the good black men? Now, good black men, what that basically means is black men who are out here competing, living life above board and competing. Simple as that. I call him Blake Henry, I call him Blue Henry, and I call him the Hit Squad. We're all the good black men. Now, I will say something. This is something you've heard a lot of sisters talk about for the longest. We're all the good black men. We're all the good black men. As if good black men went extinct right along with the dinosaurs. However, over the last several years, many credible outlets have shown and proved that not only do good black men exist, they're plentiful. They are plentiful, which is kind of a twist to a lot of folks because, ladies, the question isn't where are the good black men? The question is, what would you do if you got one? What would you do if you got one? Now, I'm going to first I'm going to start with the men. One, I know For the guys who may find issue with some of the things I'm going to say, understand, I'm assuming I'm talking to grown damn men over here. Men who already want to be in the top 10% of manhood. Men that I don't have to tell they need to work 60 hours a week. Men I don't need to tell that they actually got to get out and show they work and do something. But I'm going to tell you something, brothers. I need you guys to understand something. You are cut above the rest. You are in the minority.
Kofa.
Yes, sir.
How often do you think a man hears from another man that he's fantastic? I mean, an average. We're not talking about somebody who's a celebrity, just an average brother. How often do you think he hears,
Good
"You're
job.
phenomenal. You're phenomenal. You're awesome. You're wonderful. You're cut above the rest, brother. You doing it."
Rarely.
This is what made this man so fucking impactful. He was saying stuff to black men that black men had never heard in their life. Let me say this. A lot of people can take credit for a lot of things that Kevin Samuel says. A lot of people are fucking butt hurt over Kevin Samuel's success, what he says, his talking points, his narrative. I'm going to name the names right now who have been fucking butt hurt over Kevin Samuels. Jason Black, who I love. I love Jason Black's content, but he's been fucking butt hurt over Kevin Samuels because he claims Kevin Samuels stole shit from him. Tommy Sotomayor, fucking butt hurt. Claim that Kevin stole his shtick. Let me tell you something. Nothing that Jason Black, Tommy Sotomayor, Angry Man, O'Shea, dude, nothing none of these guys, these gentlemen, has ever said was new. Sometimes it's not the message. Oftentimes it's the messenger. Yes, the things that Kevin, Tommy, Jason Black, all of these cats, they've been saying for years, the barbershop, the preacher, the guy to come does tuck pointing around your house, whatever. We've all been saying this since the 70s. But sometimes it's the messenger. None of that stuff matters about them being butthurt over Kevin Samuels is worth a damn because their message didn't get out. He was the messenger that resonated. If you are and I understand our egos want credit. Our egos want the fucking credit. But what's more important as a dying or damn near extinct culture? Having an appropriate messenger that people will listen to or your fucking credit? Very few concepts that Kevin talked about were new to me. Now, there were ways that he put it that I never thought about. I was like, God damn. Just him saying this type of stuff. He had the right presentation. He had the right look. He had the right sound. He had the right delivery. He was just the right fucking messenger. Will a New King Arrive? Is the title of this stream. And everybody wants to be the king. And not to sound cliche, everybody can't wear the crown. Everybody can't wear the fucking crown. Nearly every point of view that Kevin expressed on this platform have been and this still expresses the mindset of most black men. nearly everything Kevin talked about in regards to complaints of black men and black women. Black men been saying for over 50 years from the perspective of black men. And our women, not just our women, but others have been just ignoring the wants, needs, and desires of the average black man. Damn near every black man is average. Like, that's a goddamn bad thing. I've done okay for myself, Kofa. If you understood my list of accomplishments, the world at large, when I'm gone, won't remember me, but that doesn't mean that my imprint ain't somewhere on this planet. Kofa, the world at large ain't gonna remember everything about Kofa the day Kofa gone. But Kofa know he was a military. Kofa knows his story. Kofa family knows his story, and that's okay. Also, from the perspective of the average black man, you know, what are we doing to protect? We talk about this image thing. What are we currently doing to protect? Look at that. This might be risky. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. DJ Hep is my boy. I'm not knocking his platform. But what the fuck are we doing? That kind of argument that they were having over there, that diminishes our collective image. And the guy in the hat, why is he even up there? Why is Tommy even up there? Both those dudes don't got a dog in a fight. Both of them dudes got their woman, got their wives, and they're out the game. They're out here poised. Instead of offering anything constructive, they're deciding to fight one another and call each other names. And our women are sitting around here, not just our women, the culture is sitting around, the dominant culture is sitting around looking like, look at these gorillas going at it. Under Kevin Samuels, believe it or not, the message was streamlined. Whether he did it intentionally or I believe brothers just naturally gravitated. Kevin every Monday would set the agenda for the week. And every content creator, if you could remember back to that time, no one was really going live on a Sunday. Everybody was just kind of sitting around like, we for to see what Kevin gonna set up for the week. Kevin was set up, he would do his live on the Monday, the message of the week, the tone of the week, the structure of the week. He would go in and do his 2-hour live stream, do his thing, and then that next morning, here we go, bam, 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 bam. All these content creators are on the same talking point from their perspective, from their angle. Kevin was the one to no beefing. Kevin would go on panels that were warned he'll show up, that shit would cease. And they would listen. He would say what he needed to say and get the fuck up out of there. Wouldn't sit there and go back and forth. Would teach, will illustrate, will set a tone and example, and people would listen. The messenger. Also, if there was an issue on in the national conversations, all content creators will wait to hear what Kevin had to say about it. The fact that people would wait on him, that is a king amongst kings. The leader, some call them the leaders of men. Kevin Samuels slowly was moving the conversations and behaviors of men and women towards a single solitary message. And that message was reconciliation. And Kevin understood that not everybody was gonna be able to come along. And now here we are walking into 2024. We're back to the Hatfields and McCoys.
Didn't take long.
Let's hear what the rest of this man got to say.
Men that think and operate like CIA men are in the distinct minority. And you're going to have to be okay with leaving a lot of people behind.
Oh, damn, just said it.
You're a leader. You're a ruler. You're going to have to get real comfortable leaving a lot of people behind, leaving a lot of average people behind who would only try to say, why do you want to wait, when did you come so cocky, so confident? When you look, get comfortable.
My sexy is strong with the devil nickel. She out here. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. Martin Luther King. Shout out to my sexy is strong. That right there from a black woman. Quoting King.
Who are you highlighting me for, man? Part of me wanted to actually kind of go in and have a meeting and talk to brother, but then I had to realize, I'm like, you know what? A lot of guys who are in these spaces aren't like us. A lot of guys who are just in these spaces, but they haven't grown up yet. That's what the title of the show was. It's time to grow up. But I'm already talking to grown-up men over here. That's what I'm talking to, is grown-up men. So instead of getting upset and going in and dropping the hammer, talk about it's time for y'all to grow up. No, man. No. Because see, over here, grown-up men attract grown-up women. And what you're starting to see is a lot of women are starting to come around these spaces. Because women are attracted to men who are movers and shakers and builders and that kind of thing. And what we need to let you ladies know. Okay. Guys, in the chat room, a lot of guys got a lot to say. Okay, guys, we're starting to have problems over here. Let me see if I can get a better connection. But nope. I think it's just the weather. It's the weather. So if it disconnects, guys. We've been having these problems going on for the last couple of days. And then apparently there's mess going on in here. Gotta understand something. Ladies, where are all the good black men is not the question. What would you do with them if you found them? What would you do with them if you found them? What the fuck is going on here? Joseph. Why some of you guys, appreciate it, got the nice fade. Yeah. Why some of you guys are asking this question? Don't get it. No, that's not my router. My router is fly.
This nigga.
Understand something. There's a study called Nice Guys, Thugs, Nice Guys, Players, discussing. There was a study done by a sister who went to, who did a study at the University of, was it the University of Chicago? Yeah, Thugs, Nice Guys, Players, Black college women, partner preferences, and relationships expectations. Yeah, University of Illinois Press. Thugs, Nice Guys, and Players, Black college women's partner preferences and relationship expectations. By Christy A. Ford. Source: Black women, gender, and families. So basically, this sister did a in-depth study and wrote a paper talking about Black women and their Black college women and their partner preferences and relationship expectations. Let me read you an excerpt. In particular, Black women are attracted to men who physically embody the Black masculine thug ideal. This is college level Black women, Black women at college and after.
Unfortunately, I don't think, he's focusing on college level black women because that's what the study focused on. But this fits our women in general. Don't you think, Kofa?
I do. And none of the studies said, it's focused on college age women, but we hear that from women in their 30s and 40s all the time. I got a degree. The old sound drop that Kevin used to play. I got a PhD.
Yeah, but I'm talking about who are women.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they often choose that same archetype.
Yeah, because it's about leverage.
Hold on a second. What same archetype? What are you talking about?
The physical thug image.
Yeah, a woman. He's gonna say it in a second here. Our women, and this is where that Tupac in the suit quote came from. They want a thug that they can that can go to the governor's ball.
Yeah.
What kind of fuck shit is that?
They've conflated two images. I call it the Tupac Obama Christ.
The Tupac Obama Christ.
You want a thug Christian to give a great speech.
Let me tell you something. Women have some of the most remarkable imaginations out here, boy. They can make up shit out of thin air and get people to believe the shit. Like that's a thing. Like Tupac in a suit. I mean, Tupac in a suit is Tupac in a suit. It's still fucking Tupac. You can't take him to the governor's ball because the shit might get shot up. You probably could take actual Tupac because he was bright. He was a learned man.
And that thing they create in their head, they'll blame you for it. As if you put it there.
Exactly. Going through that shit right now. Making shit up out of thin air and then talking about it like it's fucking reality.
No, they'll blame us like they got it from us. Like we're
being blamed.
For example, the European beauty standards. What black man has asked a black woman to dye her hair blonde? I'll wait. They did that because they wanted to do that, not because we asked for it. I mean, somebody let me know if I'm wrong in the chat. Have you ever asked a black woman to dye her hair blonde?
All right, let's finish up what Kevin got to say. Then we're gonna wrap this up.
Sure. There are 4 archetypes: the thug, the nice guy, the player, and the good black man. And the one that ranked the top was the black masculine thug ideal. Simultaneously, they are not looking for a man who dresses like a thug or behaves like a player. Rather, they want a nice guy. This is when black women say they can't find a good black man. What they want is somebody who's like Tupac in a suit, who does not womanize and has sound financial skills and is a loyal mate that goes to PTA.
They want a man who's a complete contradiction in terms. That guy don't exist, but only in the imaginations of our women. But I'm playing this not to go down the rabbit hole of our women and what they want. I'm playing this as a backdrop to show and illustrate why he was a leader. He was a leader of men, and how he emerged, and what was going on in the spaces at that time. It's important for. Let me tell you something. Here's where we kind of, because we don't know how to do this shit. This is where we fail at Kofa. It's because we don't know how to do this. We fail to anticipate a transition of leadership. Just all you got to do is look at it. Look at the black church when the pastor dies. The church goes into chaos because we don't have a succession plan in place. There's never anyone on deck.
You know who's great at doing that?
Who?
The Italian mob.
Yes. But we don't do that. There's never anybody on deck. There's no one. We
This
never
is across the board, bro.
We don't establish. Yes, we don't establish a succession plan, and we don't do cultural leadership development. And if we did this, by doing so, if we actually did it, this could mitigate the risks of the collapse of an entire community or network or mission or goal.
Like I said, when Kevin fell, when he passed, these YouTube streets went into chaos. It wasn't like it wasn't going on, but most of the focus was on Kevin. I remember particularly he did a live one time where he didn't go live. I don't think he dropped a video. He took a break for like 2 weeks. I mentioned it before.
Yes.
And the first thing he did when he came back was he looked in the camera and said, "Did you miss me?" Because nobody had any content to peel from. Like you said earlier, for two weeks. And you know, working in where we're at now in YouTube, you know that can kill your appearance in the algorithm.
Yes.
But he came right back like he didn't miss a beat. And that's one of the fears I think other black men see of leadership. People know Kevin was a leader, but this is just my personal belief. I know the autopsy came out, said he died, you know, heart disease or whatever the case was. Kevin worked himself to death.
Well, even not too long ago when his daughter went live, she just turned the camera on and played the music. That shut shit down. Everybody's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know, and everything was quiet while his song was playing. Yeah. I'm assuming it was the daughter because everybody's been saying that's what has control over his channel now. But damn, just everybody, and it was like thousands and thousands of people just in the chat watching his empty desk.
Yes, and it's
powerful
because the king had fallen. Are we winning, losing, or weak right now?
Well, that I was wanting a little clarification on that. Now, we talk about it when you ask that question. Are you comparing us to our women? When you ask,
I'm not comparing nobody to nothing. I'm just asking the question.
I mean, because it changes my answer depending on who you're comparing it to.
We as a whole? Do you only got men or women? Are we
as men compared to other men? If I answer it that way, my answer is one way.
So let me ask. Are you asking black men specifically or black people collectively?
Black men specifically.
We're losing.
Winning.
Yeah, worldwide we're losing.
Losing or weak. Yeah.
We're losing.
And this goes back to the title of my stream. That the absence of Kevin proves that black men need leaders too. The other example that I have, I'm not going to play it because it's almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. I usually would have been gone an hour ago, but yep. But the other thing I want to prove, I want to use as an example, is what happened when Just Pearly Things blew up the quote unquote manosphere. The fact that this white woman fractured black men. We ain't all got to be on the same accord. Kofa and I don't have to agree on everything, but there should be some common principles that we share. The absence of Kevin, the infiltration of Just Pearly Things proved that black men need a leader. Listen, I'm asking the question for 2024. Will a new king arrive? Now, I don't know.
My answer is no.
I don't know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here's why I'm asking this, Kofa.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm for the shift this shit. Here's I'm for the shift my channel. Here's why I'm asking this. 2024. Today, January 1st, 2024, is the start of election season. Donald J. Trump has been depicted as the villain. Donald J. Trump has been depicted as the villain. But we have a system that's supposed to be the good guy. So Donald Trump's the bad guy. The system's supposed to be the good guy. But the good guys are doing bad guy shit. So if the good guys are doing bad guy shit, what does that make the bad guy? (2024) we got some decisions to make, guys. And we all need to be asking ourselves as collectively as black men, and set your fucking ego aside for a second. Set your ego aside. Here's the question. Do we need to search for a new king?
It is